Hey everyone, my name's Paul. I started making YouTube videos about 2 months ago, and today I'm going to tell you the story of how I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. Yes, you heard correctly. I am a type 1 diabetic and I have been for the majority of my life. This isn't a video about the ins and outs of diabetes, although I am really excited to make videos focused more on informing and educating people on what diabetes actually is. No, this is simply a video about how this stage of my life began. So, this is the story of how I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. When I was 5 years old, I caught chickenpox. I don't remember much about that other than being itchy all the time and my mum constantly telling me to stop scratching. That came and went fairly normally, but after I'd beaten chickenpox, I started to feel different than I had before. Suddenly, whenever I played sport, I was always really pale. And not just pale, but pale and shaky as well. This hadn't ever been the case before. I also started wetting the bed on a nightly basis. This in particular was really confusing for me and my parents, especially when I stopped drinking water before bed and I would still wake up having wet the bed. There may have been some other signs, but those two specifically still stand out after all these years. My parents got me checked out a few times, but no definitive diagnosis was given. Until one day when my mum was talking to a good family friend who was also a doctor, Anna Harmon. My mum was explaining what had been going on with me, and I believe Anna came and saw me as well, and she immediately knew what was going on. I've actually spoken to Anna about this more recently as an adult, and she told me that telling my parents was gut-wrenching. Because she knew that not only my life, but their lives would forever be changed from this moment on. And she was right. Once we found this out, I was immediately taken to Randwick Children's Hospital to be admitted. The night of my diagnosis, I remember two things very clearly. One, I got a huge needle. There's actually a photograph somewhere of me screaming while I got given it. In my memories, I always picture it being one of those comically large needles that's the length of your arm. The second thing I remember is being given an Action Man figure. Remember those? As a reward for being tough and getting the needle. I also got given a toy ambulance by the hospital, and I still have that and the Action Man figure to this day. After being stabilized and educated about what diabetes was, I left the hospital a week later, innocently unaware that my life was permanently changed. And that is the story of how I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. That was 24 years ago, so this life, the life of a diabetic, is all I really know now. To be specific, that's 82.7% of my life so far. I have memories of my life before diabetes, but I haven't been able to remember what it feels like to be without my illness for a long time now. I'm hoping that this story will act as a launch point on this channel for more informational and educational discussions on what diabetes actually is, and more practically what it's like living with it, and how you can help those in your life who might have diabetes. Because there are a lot of cultural presumptions about what diabetes is and what it's like living with it. I'd love to be able to speak into this space and help everyone understand the truths about this illness, because it's 24/7, and honestly, it's really hard. You gotta be switched on all the time. You cannot have a break from it. It demands every moment of your life. And I think even this is something that people don't really understand. But that's for another video. Thanks again for watching. It means a lot to me, even if I'm not getting an insane amount of views at the moment. I enjoy creating, and I really enjoy bringing all the things in my head out into video form. If you haven't already and you like my vibe, feel free to like this video and subscribe to stay up to date on all future content. For now, have a great week, and I'll see you next time.